I think when guys come out on a trip like this, there's something about the natural beauty of this place that makes you yearn for truth. So my name's Brad. I'm from Indianapolis, Indiana. I grew up there. That was my hometown. About 80% or more of international students in the United States have never been even invited into an American home. And so we welcomed a student into our home, and it was the beginning of what's been an incredible adventure ever since. One of the other guys who co-leads this trip with me is a guy named Sven. And honestly, Sven and I could probably not be more different.
What are we doing out here right now? That's a very good question. This is my annual death march.
You ain't seen nothing yet.
There's an incredible amount of preparation that goes into doing a trip like this. Most of these guys have never been even camping before. They've never spent a single night sleeping outside. And so to prepare a group like this to come and experience a 50-mile backpacking trip over 5.5 days, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, but it's incredibly worth it. We don't just start in the canyon. We actually start all the way in the Midwest. So we hop in a 15-passenger van, and the trip in and of itself, getting out here, is kind of an epic journey. So we drive through, I think, 10 or 11 states on the way here. I think when we hop in the van, a lot of the guys don't know each other at all. And even by the time we arrive at the trailhead for the canyon, we've begun to forge what I think will be a lifelong relationship. We have a lot of traditions on this trip. So the first one is we all have to put our poles together in the middle, make a circle. All right, hey, usually before we take off, we like to just pray for God to protect us and keep us safe and keep us from getting injured and have an awesome trip. So let me pray for us, all right? God, thank you so much for bringing us out here safely. Thank you that you created this amazing place just to show us your beauty and your majesty. I pray that you would speak to us on this trip. We ask all these things in your name. Amen.
Amen.
All right. Many people who walk through this canyon are carrying things in their life that are weighing them down, kind of like heavy weight or heavy rocks in their backpack. Hang on, I'm gonna fix this for you. Sure. I think many of the people who have come on this trip have looked at this as an opportunity to figure out what those things are in their life that need to be removed from their pack so they can live more free. Okay, so let's share one by one. We don't have to go like around a circle in a specific order, but just as you're ready to share. Again, why did you come on this trip? And what do you hope to get from the trip this week? So, somebody want to start?
I'm kind of the guy that it's like my favorite, like to stay home like for 3 months in a row, eating same food with same friends, and I really enjoy it. But 1 year ago, I just felt it. I just felt like I have to go to this trip because of like Ahmed, Brad, Andrew, and Sven, because I see them like very often, and I wanted to do this to just get to know them more. Yep, and I have some stuff like inside me. I'm not sure about it, like, or I'm not caring about. So just exploring inside of me. Yep. That's it.
I inspire from Brad because I working for him, and he always quiet. He never get mad, no matter what. I want to learn something from him.
And actually, is like challenging for me, like this trip, because I passed through a lot of things, and this trip is like I'm gonna prove myself.
They're all facing some element of difficulty in their lives, and so maybe that this adventure where they realize that, man, they can whip the canyon, they can whip whatever it is that's besetting them. I think for me it is a major challenge to make it through this trip. So it's a time to see, what can I do? Can this old man do it again? Really, there's no choice. We can only go one way. We can't go back. There's nothing back there. So if we don't survive, then, we meet our maker anyway, and I see God face to face then. It's okay, whatever. I just want the end to come fast. That's right.
At the very beginning of this trip, we dropped down into what is one of the longest, deepest slot canyons in the world. Our first day, we have to hike about 14 miles. We feel lost. It's dark. It's cold. There's no growth. And some of us, we wonder if we're going to survive.
Wish me luck.
It's really cold in there because the sun never makes it down in there. So we're just coming out of winter. So the rocks on the side are just, it's like walking through a refrigerator. And really, imagine the worst possible day of your life. And I think you're about there. Although the scenery is pretty spectacular. And when the sun does kind of hit the walls a little bit, just right, or you're in that one of those 3 different areas where you can bask in sunshine for about 5 minutes.
Majesty.
It kind of rejuvenates you and makes the journey worthwhile.
I'm serious. Usually the deepest water is the next 2 miles.
Does anybody have any floaties?
There's deep water that we have to trudge through. Sometimes the water is almost chest deep.
There's some long, ugly pools that you have to wade through, and you just start shaking. You can't feel your feet. I mean, literally, you cannot feel your feet. Really close to the end, there's this boulder field that you got to figure out how to get over or under or through or around. All these boulders the size of buses, and it's at that point you're already completely thoroughly exhausted, and the urge to give up is pretty immense.
We all have to work together as a team to lower our packs down with a rope.
Okay. Okay.
Somebody go down and help.
And we struggle through it.
Good. There you go.
Okay, thank you.
It took about 11 hours to get through that stupid thing, and you just got to press on. An hour or so later, you're at the campsite, and that's the end of the day.
So my wife and I started Indy Internationals about 10 years ago, and it began when we just opened up our home to start hosting international students to live with us. We found that there were students coming from all corners of the globe, and what shocked us is that over 80% of international students have never been invited into an American home. And over the course of the past 15 years or so, we've hosted over 200 students from mostly the Middle East and Southeast Asia. We have kind of a unique group on this trip. Some of them are international students who are doing master's or law degrees. Some of them are immigrants who have come to this country and have gotten green cards and are working jobs here. So we have kind of a diverse group. We take them on all kinds of backpacking trips. Some of these trips that we've done have become kind of legendary. Honestly, there have been a lot of stories that have been told over the years. When we get back home, there's curiosity, and it's, you know, many of them say that this is a big challenge that they want to accomplish, maybe kind of a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. It's incredible when we're packing up for this trip. We spread all of our gear out, and we think there's no way in the world we're gonna be able to carry all of this stuff on our backs for 50 miles. And somehow it fits into these backpacks. And so we show the guys how to pack everything. And then we get to the campsite and we have to pull it all out, and we have to teach them how to set up a tent, and then, you know, how to cook food. We all sit around and enjoy meals together. Those sometimes are the most meaningful times of this whole trip, as we just sit around together, we share meals, we drink coffee and tea, and just forge relationships. A lot of pressure here. Oh! Enjoy. Thank you. We are separating ourselves from all of the normal comforts that we have back home. It's easy to just be so busy, caught up in social media or in things that you have to do, but when we come out here, there's an opportunity to just pause. Guys, we're getting ready to head out. Are you ready?
Let's go.
We've got a very gregarious guy who is, he's Moroccan and always talking, always loud, always jovial, always ready to go. And even when his ankles are messed up and it's difficult for him, but let's go, go, go.
Actually, this is our bag right here. So inside they have our sleeping bag and our clothes for the nights, and our chair, my jacket in case if it's windy or it's raining or something. We have 3 of these, and we carry also like the food inside, some medicine. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Yep.
One of the things that I think is incredibly remarkable about this trip is that we have Christians and Muslims from totally different worldviews, from completely different cultural contexts and backgrounds, spending a week together, building relationships, asking each other tough questions. This is just something that doesn't happen in the real world.
To be honest with you, it's really, it's not easy, but you enjoy more. You don't care if it's hard or you
forget about the pain.
Yeah, you forget about the pain. Yeah. That's it. You just enjoy it.
That's right.
Yeah. Wow.
So in the Bible, there's a history of coming to a place and building an altar as a place of worship and a place of remembrance. It's actually called a rock cairn. Sometimes they use them to mark the trail, to help you find your path as you're walking through an area that's hard to navigate. And so somebody sat here and had a moment with God and built an altar of worship, or an altar of remembrance. So only God knows. So I've been thinking about how does God feel about us? Today might be a good chance to just ask that question as you walk. To ask God, how do you feel about me? Just listen. We've got about 6 miles to go. We're gonna stop at a spot where there's some really cool petroglyphs up on the wall. And other than that, we're gonna book it.
We're gonna run.
So let's do it.
Let's go. Let's go. Move. Here goes nothing. Oh, it's heavy again. There's one guy that I thought for sure we would have to egg along, but man, he's been in the lead group the whole way. It was shocking. Every single day, he's no sweat, boom.
Almost there.
And in fact, it's great to see his personality just kind of blossom, because back home, he's just got some issues that doesn't allow for that. I think the unique thing about this particular adventure is that you don't know where your next step will take you. There's just so much. You're climbing up, you got boulders to go around, you got raging waters, you got heat, you got cold, it's just everything. And there's no way to really be prepared for everything.
Thank you so much.
A lot of these guys, what they will tell you is that they're on this trip to kind of prove something to themselves, that they can do it. And I think it's totally legit. And you make it through this thing, you've done a pretty impressive thing. You've got to go forward. You can't go back. You've got to take that next step, no matter where it takes you.
Wow, it looks really beautiful. No, this mountain, the third mountain.
Even my leg hurts me, I made it. I'm gonna make it, don't worry.
You did
Wow.
Yeah. Good job,
Proud of you, Arabian horse.
Yeah, good job, Ahmed.
Moroccan Arabian horse.
As we continue down through the canyon, the walls begin to broaden. So what begins as a very dark and foreboding trip, all of a sudden we start to see some glimmers of light. There's this growing sense of hope.
So I'm getting out what I was like having
In your backpack.
in my backpack. Yeah, I started feeling like inside me. So yeah,
good.
and I'm sure like after like the end for this trip, it's I think I'm gonna leave everything here.
By this time tomorrow, the canyon walls will be really far out and on either side, and we'll just be hiking through the desert with dry feet for the first time all week. You know, I think sometimes it's so easy to get caught up in just your studies. But there's incredible stuff to explore in this country. And really, there are people in this country that love you and want to welcome you and make this place feel like home. So really, we would challenge you to step outside of your comfort zone and do something crazy, like spending a week with us out here in the wilderness.
What I'm telling my family and children about this, I'll tell them like I did 50 miles in the canyon and you Google it. That's it.
I think this is the best group that we've had in terms of like mentality and discussion and all of it. You guys are great. Yeah, thank you for putting up with me.
How many more do you have in you?
Ask me later.
Probably 6.
Wow.
I will not be able to do like half of it if I'm not around you, like your positive energy and your kindness and everything. Thank you all. Yep.
Thank you for you. You are here about us. Thank you.
I've been here 10 times and hopefully I'm just getting started. So Maybe that sounds crazy, but what really excites me is to think about continuing to bring international students and friends through here. And it excites me to think that I'll be sitting around this very spot with dozens and dozens of people in the years to come, having conversations about life and faith and encouraging each other. So I'm excited to keep coming back.
Yeah, I enjoy it, and still one more day. It's not still one more day.
This is the rope that we use to lower the packs down the boulder. What do you think, guys? There's a point in the trip where we make bracelets that are actually melted together, so they're not easy to remove, as just a memory of something that they learned on this trip, something that maybe God showed them on this trip.
There, that'll work.
On one of our trips recently overseas, we met up with a group of students and had a reunion, and all of the guys who came were all still wearing this bracelet, even years later.
So the last day is 10, 11 miles. You just jaunt to the van. And you'd never think that an ugly white van would be so beautiful or so attractive. But man, it's like a magnet that just is pulling us.
It's going good, yeah. You know, the last part is the hardest, because you are thinking about how we get there.
Here we are in the midst of astounding, amazing nature, and at some point, everybody's got in their mind, man, I want that van. And there've been years where the whole group just comes up and hugs the van at the end when we're there. It's really bizarre and a little disconcerting. But as for my future with this thing, it's just a challenge to say that
Are you okay?
I've done it.
Really?
You know, I can still do it.
Okay.
And to help these guys see that they can do it also. And most of these guys learn that they're not quite as weak as they thought they are. But does the whole trip mimic life? I don't know. I just am happy to survive it. And so I guess in life that's sort of the same way, right?
As I look back now on the years that God has given us here, I'm thankful. I genuinely love being with these guys. They have enriched my life in so many ways and have just become part of my life in my community that I'm so grateful for. It is so easy to get focused on looking down, and we try to challenge ourselves to look up and see the incredible beauty that's around us.
I'm doing my best. All right, once you guys are done kissing each other, we need to unload our packs.
What keeps me coming back out here is the conversations that we've been able to have on these trips, the relationships that have been formed, our lifelong relationships. These are people that I'll continue to track with, probably for the rest of their lives. And so, that's it.
That's it.
That's it.